A local high school football player now recovering from a serious injury in last week's game. We spoke to one of his coaches. Plus, we now know who will replace a local congressional candidate in the November elections after her sudden death last week. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening. We start tonight with a breaking news out of Los Angeles, California. You're looking live at that police chase happening right now, developing within the last 10 minutes. Now, we don't know much right now other than the location, which is in North Hollywood. In the last 2 minutes since the show started, one person escaped the car, but the driver continues. Now, this is a developing story. We will have more information as it comes into our newsroom. Here at home, a Northport High School football player continues his recovery tonight following a serious injury. Wendy Renault suffered an injury to his neck during a game on Friday night against Lakewood Ranch. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from Northport High School tonight with more on how he's doing. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, there were some very scary moments here, but it looks like everything's going to be okay. This is an image of Northport High School football player Wendy Renault being wheeled off the field Friday night during a home game against Lakewood Ranch. The junior suffered a stable fracture of 2 vertebrae in his neck.
It's frightening. You feel for the student, you feel for the family, his teammates, everybody that's there in the stands.
Renault was covering a kickoff, and as he was coming down to make a tackle, he was hit head-on. Miller says thankfully it looks like Renault is going to be okay. He does have feeling and movement in all of his extremities and will not require surgery.
He's doing good. He's home now. Sore. He's going to have a long recovery in front of him, but he's definitely He's lucky.
Here's some footage of Renault in a game earlier this year. He's number 25 in white. In the game this past weekend, Northport did end up beating Lakewood Ranch 34-6. Sophomore Juan Cisneros wasn't at the game, but word had spread quickly about Renault's injury. He has this message for him.
Get well, bro. I'm praying for you, and hope you get well soon.
And our prayers do go out to Wendy Renault for a very speedy recovery. Reporting live from Northport, I'm Rick Adams.
All right, Rick, thank you. We do wish him the best. Well, new developments tonight in a story we've been covering for you all day. The Democratic chairs in the 17th District have chosen Alan Ellison of Sebring to run in the November ballot after April Freeman died unexpectedly last week. Ellison is the chairman of the Center for Economic and Policy Development. Freeman's name will still appear on the ballot, but signs will be placed on polling places about the rules of their vote. Those with mail-in ballots will also get a note that explains Ellison will inherit all of Freeman's votes. Ellison will run against Greg Stubbe on November 6th. Now, when it comes to those November general elections, you can start studying right now. Sarasota and Manatee have their sample ballots up online. This will be especially useful for non-English speakers. On Election Day, there will not be any Spanish ballots, and early voters won't get Spanish ballots either. For information on how to find these sample ballots, you can simply search for this story on our website, mysuncoast.com. A new Florida law that went into effect today will limit communication problems between drivers who are hearing impaired and law enforcement officers. Drivers can mark if they are deaf or hard of hearing on their vehicle registration so that law enforcement is aware before they get out of their vehicle. Drivers can also ask for an emblem designating they are hearing impaired on their driver license if they're driving a different vehicle. Now, it's meant to make a routine traffic stop easier and less stressful for both parties.
Deaf people are misunderstood, and we think we're ignoring people and we're just being rude, but really we just can't hear everything.
A Tallahassee police officer came up with the law to help prevent miscommunication that could lead to confrontations. Also going into effect today, Florida auto dealers are required to follow a new law that will allow car buyers to help fund the Hope Scholarship Program. Under that law, car buyers can voluntarily shift up to $105 from the sales taxes they would normally pay on vehicle transactions to that scholarship fund. That program gives parents of eligible students the opportunity to find a safer learning environment among private schools at another public school within the school district, or to receive funding to bus the student to a school in another district. Well, applying for financial aid just got much easier. For the first time ever, college hopefuls can fill out a free application for federal student aid on a mobile app. It's also known as FAFSA. Right now, only about 61% of high school students apply for help, which leaves more than $24 billion in state and federal aid on the table. That may change now that the form is available through the brand new My Student Aid app. Well, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a look at our first alert forecast. And Bob, you really would think it was the middle of summer these days around here.
Temperatures have been hot. Yes, they have. It turns out that September was the third hottest on record since 1911, and that's when it actually beat the old mark there. Third hottest on record, the month of September. In Tampa, it was the all-time record high for the month of September. Again, that dating back well into the 1800s. Now, what we have is a steady east wind with an east wind and no sea breeze. Temperatures have a tendency to get close to record breaking. We're going to see that again tomorrow. High temperatures will be above average. All the storms that you see out here are being enhanced by the Gulf Loop current. A little bit more energy out there, and that's the reason why you're seeing that explosion of storms offshore. We never had the convergence set up of the sea breeze because the east wind was too brisk throughout the day, not allowing the sea breeze to penetrate inland. Tomorrow, we may see a little bit more action around. It's going to be moving pretty quickly off into the Gulf, and that's a direct result of the fact that we are going to see a little bit more moisture content coming on into play. A few showers along the east coast right now. That's that energy I mentioned right there. It was around earlier over northeast Florida. It has since shifted now, and it will continue to move off toward the west. As I said, we'll see a little bit better chance for a few scattered late-day showers tomorrow. And we'll have the rest of the work week forecast and take a look at the weekend as well coming up in just a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Bob, we'll talk to you soon. New details on what happened to a woman whose body was found by a UPS driver in Bradenton. Manatee County Sheriff's investigators say there were no signs of trauma and that woman likely died of a drug overdose. The body of 47-year-old Catherine Giles was found near 70th Street Court East and 13th Avenue East in Bradenton on Friday. Deputies say they found drug paraphernalia at the scene. Two men already in the Florida State Corrections System have new warrants for their arrests for crimes committed in 15 Florida counties, including Sarasota and Manatee. The charges against Roland Hartridge Lee and Juan Jose Sapeg come from stolen goods at more than 30 Home Depot stores. Florida law enforcement officers started investigating after a call from Home Depot's corporate investigator regarding the suspected theft. Agents found that between March and May of 2017, Lee and Sapeg were involved in more than 70 fraudulent transactions using various schemes. Because of the number of counties involved, their cases will be prosecuted by the Florida Attorney General's office. A Florida man accused of shooting a cat with a crossbow has been arrested. Police in Bonita Springs say a woman found her cat Daisy lying in the yard with an arrow in its stomach on Friday. Detectives got a search warrant for the woman's neighbor, Mark Hamill. Officers found a mini crossbow and arrows matching the one that hurt the cat. Daisy the cat was then taken to a nearby animal hospital, and is expected to be okay. Hamill is now facing animal cruelty charges and has been released on bond. No details have been given as to why he shot the cat. An injured blue heron is back in the wild tonight, all thanks to the help of rescuers with Peace River Wildlife Center. The great blue had been seen with what looked like a stick in its neck. When a rescuer caught it, it was a surprise to find that the heron's tongue was actually pulled through the tissue behind the beak and stuck. Wildlife officials are not sure how it all happened, but suspect a fishing hook or barbed fish could have punctured that tissue and pulled the tongue down. Luckily, the injury was not too severe, and the heron was released after recovery. Well, Selby Botanical Gardens in Sarasota is looking to its future while also celebrating its past. The Gardens is planning a $67 million construction project that will include a 5-story parking garage with a restaurant on top, but administrators are also protecting the garden's history as well. City commissioners granted a local historic designation to the home where William and Marie Selby lived. That designation protects the site so that changes in the future to that structure would need to be reviewed by the Historic Preservation Board.
The Selby House is really a focal point of Selby Gardens history, and I think it's an important tenet of Selby Gardens' undertaking to preserve its history and also protect its future.
The Selbys came to Sarasota from West Virginia in 1921. The house went up in 1922, just a few years before the Great Depression. It is now used as a cafe and a meeting place. Well, stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast. Plus, red tide continues to spread, this time all the way to the other side of Florida. A look at conditions on the East Coast. And also a look at the devastating aftermath of an earthquake and tsunami in Indonesia. We'll hear from some survivors.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Our overall experience working with California Closets was phenomenal.
Calm, reassuring.
Through happenstance, we ended up paired with our designer, Jen. She was someone who not only was patient, someone who was professional. She's become extended family.
She had great insight to help direct me towards those things that could make our dreams come true.
We are the Greens, and this is our California Closet story.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
We'll take a look at this video into our newsroom tonight of the water off of Boca Grande practically black. Now, Jennifer McLaughlin posted this video on Facebook along with a picture of a water bottle filled with water from that beach. People quickly responded with pictures of their own. One person who commented suggested that the water is oxidizing, and that is why it is that color. Well, here at home, the FWC is now confirming red tide has reached the east coast of Florida. Today, beaches were closed after several people reported feeling sick this past weekend. Test results from the FWC released today confirmed red tide is to blame for respiratory and skin problems there.
The last time I feel like it was this empty was like during the hurricane when we came and the whole island was shut down, so very weird.
FWC has reported red tide on the East Coast only 8 times since the 1950s, and usually the side effects last for a shorter period of time and are seen in lower concentrations. Now, for months, the red tide, of course, has plagued the west coast of Florida from Venice all the way to Clearwater and has also killed many marine life. And Bob, this weekend I had a chance to kind of go out towards Longboat Key, and it wasn't as bad, the smell, but you could still kind of smell the stench a little bit. It was still there, and of course some dead horseshoe crabs, lots of flies in the area, but we're just hoping for the best, I guess, eventually.
We're getting some reports though, on social media that it wasn't bad at all, that people were going out there. The water color was a little bit bad, but as far as the offshore winds go out of the east, it keeps everything off into the Gulf, and we're going to continue to see that too, it looks like, as we go through the day on Tuesday. So not nearly as bad as it has been, but I want to caution people, it's not over yet. It's going to take a little while, and if we get that west wind returning, I'm sure that it will come back like we saw about 2 weeks ago as well. Beautiful sunset tonight from our ABC7 tower cam, showing some clouds off in the distance. We had a lot of rainfall. I showed you on the radar earlier, and wonderful photos sent in again to our pics at mysuncoast.com. This looks like the gates to heaven right there. Fred Seeger getting this one as the sun was setting. Susan Humphreys from Terracea getting also a shower offshore. Norm Schimmel getting some crepuscular rays off of Sarasota Bay. And the rainstorm that we see now, the storms that we see here, continue to push away from the coast. We're going to have a nice start tomorrow. We'll see generally fair skies and temperatures in the mid-70s, a little bit above average for this time of year. What we have had is a little trough of low pressure to the northeast of us today. Over northeast Florida, brought some heavy rainfall there, but all that is for the most part winding down. We have some showers along the east coast. That's just that east wind picking up over the Gulf Stream there, and a few showers along the east coast, but nothing going on here. Things are quiet, will stay that way, so don't expect any rumble of thunder to keep you up during the early morning hours. All the heavy rainfall today near St. Augustine, southward down to near Daytona Beach, where they had up to about 2 inches of rainfall. Now, the dry air that's been in place has also kind of caused us to see very warm temperatures over the past couple of days, and that is now shifting off to the west. So a little bit more moisture availability, at least on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, some more dry air will start to work in, so our rain chances will go down, and then back up on Thursday, and then back down on Friday. You get the picture. Kind of a roller coaster as far as our rain chances go over the next 5 days or so. The GOES 16 satellite imagery showing that cloudiness along the east coast, still indicating a little bit of a weak disturbance there. This is the remnants of what was Kirk, and it's not doing a whole lot, but there's some pretty big storms down there and windy conditions, and the wind's just unfavorable for anything to get going here now. But this is an area that we watch during the latter half of the hurricane season for possible development, and there are some long-range models indicating something's going to pop up here in a couple of weeks. We'll see if that verifies over the next 5 days or so and see if it sticks around with it. It's too early to tell exactly where or if anything's going to develop. This one we know, Leslie continues to just spin out there. This is an unusual storm. It's starting to get better organized as it heads to the southwest. Get a look at the track of this storm. This is where it started, and you can see this was many days ago. It kind of did a loop and then back off to the east, up north, then west, and now to the south. And then here's the forecast path and track. It's going to go back up north, and it's going to go back to where it actually started. It looks like not too long from now. It could get up to a Category 1 hurricane status there. 79 right now in Sarasota. It's 78 in Orlando, 85 in Key West. Current conditions, we have 79, clear skies, and it feels like 82. East wind at around 8 miles an hour. The pressure way up there. Our high today was 91, and that was a few degrees below the record. And the record 94 set back in 2005. It's going to be another hot one tomorrow, too. For boaters tomorrow, just a light chop out there. Seas running 2 feet or less, and northeast winds for the most part. So there's that 40% chance for late day storms tomorrow. Another hot one, too. High 92 with the heat index up near 100. Drops down to 20% chance on Wednesday, back up to 50% on Thursday. Not much on Friday, and then back to 40% on Sunday and Monday. So it's back and forth, up and down we go, but the temperature remains hot. Jacqueline?
All right, good to know. Thank you, Bob. Authorities in Indonesia search for survivors under debris and destruction following a devastating earthquake and tsunami. 844 people are confirmed dead, with that number expected to rise. Matt Rivers has all the details.
Rescuers think there's a body in here and believe it should be found. They don't mind crashing through the rubble to search because the house was already gone. Around the corner, another search, a tarp laid in case they find someone. They don't, but these guys did. To add to a climbing death toll after a massive earthquake followed by a tsunami flattened this part of Sulawesi. If you lived here, you'd be lucky if you weren't hurt, even if you lost everything you own. That's what happened to many of these people, airport refugees awaiting a government evacuation. Most try to leave because they've got nothing left. Even some with homes intact get out.
People are trying to get stuff from my house, so I need to get the kids out of here.
People are looting.
People are stealing things. They're trying to rob us.
For those that remain behind, the conditions are horrific. We visited a hospital that set up an outdoor ward because post-quake, patients were scared to go back inside. The injured fill beds soaked in sweat, covered in flies. It's where we meet Puteri Pertiwi. She was riding a motorbike with her cousin, her best friend, when the tsunami hit. She lived. Her cousin didn't. At first I shouted, she says, "Ita, Ita, where are you?" She didn't respond. In the beginning, I thought she would survive, but then my family found out she was dead. The stories of trauma are as common as they are awful. We meet this bandaged 7-year-old a few minutes later. He was with his mom and little brother when the wave hit. They were swept away and haven't been seen since. He says he sees a black shadow. That's what he said. I think it's him remembering his mother and brother. Officially, they're missing. In all likelihood, they're gone. So what does a poor town do when the bodies keep piling up and there's nowhere to put them? This town is so inundated with death that the morgue is completely overwhelmed. The only space left for many of the bodies is here in the parking lot outside the emergency room. Some of these have been outside exposed for 3 days now. 130 remain. The only solution to prevent the spread of disease is to strip the dignity of a proper goodbye. Mass burials started Monday, a thankless task performed by a military already spread too thin. They'll continue Tuesday, and maybe after that, as long as people keep searching and finding what nobody wants to find. Matt Rivers, CNN, Palu, Indonesia.
An update now on the Brett Kavanaugh investigations. We are learning tonight that the FBI is moving quickly in its evaluations of the Supreme Court nominee. Kavanaugh's high school friend P.J. Smith has been interviewed, as has Debbie Ramirez, the second accuser from Yale. Agents seem to be focused on the sexual assault and sexual misconduct claims that Judge Kavanaugh has denied. Republican senators say they want a fair investigation, and Senator Jeff Flake even saying today the investigation could sway his vote.
There's evidence that comes back that corroborates Christine Ford's story, then all of us will look at it that way. That's why we're doing the investigation. But I have an open mind on this, and I'm glad we're having the investigation.
President Trump says the FBI should interview anyone they want within reason. Well, today marked 1 year since the Las Vegas massacre, when 58 people were killed after a gunman opened fire on a crowd of concert goers. Since that time, there's been a push to ban the sale of bump stocks, devices that can be added to semi-automatic weapons to make them fire more quickly. Now, President Trump says that ban is just weeks away.
In order to terminate bump stocks, we have to go through a procedure. We are now at the final stages of that procedure. In fact, the lawyers were just telling me, and over the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to write it out. But you can't just write it out, because rules and regulations in this country are really tough, even for something like that. So we're knocking out bump stocks. I've told the NRA, I've told it, bump stocks are gone.
Since that shooting, 10 states, including Florida, have passed bans or restrictions on bump stocks. Police say the Vegas shooter used at least one bump stock. The president says his administration is working with Congress on a number of issues regarding gun legislation. Stay with us. Entertainment news is coming up next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Tonight, Kimmel's all new.
Right, Guillermo? That's right, Jimmy.
When Henry Winkler and his Emmy drop by.
She's never going to take that off.
Plus, what's Jenny Slate doing here?
She asked me to be here.
And music from Lindsey Buckingham. Kimmel, new tonight on ABC.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G-Freed has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G-Freed Flooring America. G-Freed Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. You get all this coverage for a $0 monthly plan premium in most areas, and Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals. So call or go online today. Find out if your doctor is part of the Humana network and get your free decision guide. Discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Parkinson's disease is trying to slow us down, but we are strong because we are together. So let's go. Let's reach. Let's fight. Let's move. The Parkinson's Foundation is making life better for people with Parkinson's disease. And now it's time for you to join the movement. Moving Day is here, and we are counting on you. Sign up to walk because people who move change the world.
Rapper Cardi B surrendered to police this morning to face charges in connection with an assault on 2 bartenders at a Queens strip club. She will now face misdemeanor charges in connection with that August 29th fight at Angel's Strip Club in Flushing. Cardi B is likely to receive a desk appearance ticket to appear in court at a later date. Detectives are sorting out whether or not she was involved in that attack. Well, Gwyneth Paltrow has tied the knot. The 46-year-old actress shared these photos on Instagram yesterday. She married television producer Brad Falchuk in the Hamptons on Saturday. Now, they first met on the set of Glee in 2010, which Falchuk co-created and Paltrow guest starred. Well, the beloved French singer and songwriter Charles Aznavour has died at the age of 94. Aznavour is perhaps best known for his hits She and Higher Encore. Last year, Aznavour was added to Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Now, the singer, who wrote and recorded over 1,000 songs, was sometimes dubbed the French Frank Sinatra. Tonight, the Eiffel Tower lit up for him and played his music. Well, that's a look at entertainment news. We'll have your winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
My California closets experience has been wonderful. My mother's a huge inspiration. Before she passed away, she would say, you should do something special for yourself. first time I saw my closet, I immediately thought, this is the best thing I've ever done for myself. I call it my Tiffany style closet. I mean, I can shop in my own closet every day. I love that. My name is Cynthia, and this is my California Closets story.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Well, happy Halloween. Okay, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but can you blame us? Even this bat at a Trump rally today in Tennessee was in the spooky spirit. People went crazy on Twitter. One person even tweeting out that it flew right into his face. You know, I've kind of had that experience before with a bat where it comes flying right past you. And
it must be that time of year too, because I was driving just last night and a couple of bats come swooping down in front of my car. And normally I would, you don't see that, but it's happened a couple of times.
Maybe it's because it's now October.
It could be. Looking for the Halloween.
Yes. All right, thanks, Bob, and thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow evening. Have a good one.